All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Chopping It Up Live. How are you doing? If you don't know, I am Jamal Bandy, the one who seeks to distribute the truth that the doctor prescribes to the church and the world today. And so, speaking of the world, I wanted to chop it up about something very, very important that we need to discuss. My wife asked me about it yesterday, just in casual conversation, and I want to know what you guys think. Let's chop it up. All right, as you see in the title that I put, and we can talk about other topics as well if you would like to. But I want to talk about this as far as, are we headed to war? If you don't know what currently took place, if you haven't been paying attention, I know, like if you like me, sometimes things on the news kind of miss you. But it seems that our president he's took out one of Iran's top leaders, and it seems like we're headed onto some troubling waters. And what do you guys think about it? Let's talk about it. Now, what I did want to do is I did want to pull up a news feed. So I listened to like a couple of news clips from YouTube, from certain, from different news outlets. One particular was CBS and another one's ABC. And it was interesting to me how both covered this story differently. All right. So CBS, they only took a snippet of the president's speech, giving us the update as far as what happened. And they basically, they took his quote when he said that he did what he did not to start a war, but to stop a war. And then they begin to commentate as far as what their feelings were about what he did. What I like about ABC in this particular instance is that ABC actually gave us the whole speech to listen to, and so I want us to listen to the speech and to see what we think about this whole thing. Now, what I've heard so far is that people are saying like, he said, Trump has said that he wants to take people, get troops out of the Middle East and stop the wars there and so on and so forth, and not be involved with the Middle East. But then now he does this strike. And so it would seem as if he's going back on what he said. And that's what CBS was covering. And that's what people are saying as far as something that's a bad play on his part, as far as what they're saying. On the other hand, you have where he's actually trying to protect U.S. citizens who are in another place, who are in another country as ambassadors or, stuff like that. Or officials and, doing work there, and he's trying to protect those citizens because this man, Soleimani, I can't pronounce his name right. I'm not even gonna try. You'll hear his name when we play the clip, but that he was actually planning to harm U.S. citizens. He was planning to harm, and of course their wording goes is that he was planning sinister attacks on U.S. citizens and officials. And so this was the president's point in protecting U.S. citizens. Had this not been the case, then this wouldn't have happened. And so basically he stopped, like, if I guess you could say that if he would have if he was allowed to carry out his plan of sinister attacks and murder, then it probably would have been a war, because then we would have retaliated and it would have been a back and forth thing, right? So this is what I'm seeing. And so it seems that his intention, as he says, is to stop a war. All right. But what do you guys think about it? If you mention it in a live chat, let me know. I'm able to look at the chat. Or you can just leave comments afterwards on the replay. That's all good. All right. But I want to play a clip of his speech, and maybe it won't get flagged. Maybe it will. We'll see. But and let's discuss it. All right. Not gonna play the full clip, but just enough to hear the president's speech. All right.
I'm Wade Johnson in New York, and we're coming on the air at this hour with breaking news. President Trump expected to make his first statements on camera about that deadly airstrike killing Iran's top general in Baghdad. President Trump stepping up to the podium right now in Mar-a-Lago.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon. As president, my highest and most solemn duty is the defense of our nation and its citizens. Last night, at my direction, the United States military successfully executed a flawless precision strike that killed the #1 terrorist anywhere in the world, Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani was plotting imminent and sinister attacks on American diplomats and military personnel, but we caught him in the act and terminated him. Under my leadership, America's policy is unambiguous to terrorists who harm or intend to harm any American. We will find you. We will eliminate you. We will always protect our diplomats, service members, all Americans, and our allies. For years, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps and its ruthless Quds Force under Soleimani's leadership has targeted, injured, and murdered hundreds of American civilians and servicemen. The recent attacks on U.S. targets in Iraq, including rocket strikes that killed an American and injured 4 American servicemen very badly, as well as a violent assault on our embassy in Baghdad, were carried out at the direction of Soleimani. Soleimani made the death of innocent people his sick passion, contributing to terrorist plots as far away as New Delhi and London. Today, we remember and honor the victims of Soleimani's many atrocities, and we take comfort in knowing that his reign of terror is over. Soleimani has been perpetrating acts of terror to destabilize the Middle East for the last 20 years. What the United States did yesterday should have been done long ago. A lot of lives would have been saved. Just recently, Soleimani led the brutal repression of protesters in Iran, where more than 1,000 innocent civilians were tortured and killed by their own government. We took action last night to stop a war. We did not take action to start a war. I have deep respect for the Iranian people. They are a remarkable people with an incredible heritage and unlimited potential. We do not seek regime change. However, the Iranian regime's aggression in the region, including the use of proxy fighters to destabilize its neighbors, must end, and it must end now. The future belongs to the people of Iran, those who seek peaceful coexistence and cooperation, not the terrorist warlords who plunder their nation to finance bloodshed abroad. The United States has the best military by far anywhere in the world. We have the best intelligence in the world. If Americans anywhere are threatened, we have all of those targets already fully identified, and I am ready and prepared to take whatever action is necessary. And that in particular refers to Iran. Under my leadership, we have destroyed the ISIS territorial caliphate. And recently, American Special Operations Forces killed the terrorist leader known as al-Baghdadi. The world is a safer place without these monsters. America will always pursue the interests of good people, great souls, while seeking peace, harmony, and friendship with all of the nations of the world. Thank you. God bless you. God bless our great military, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. But there you have it. There you have it. I mean, I didn't really have to play the whole thing, and hopefully it don't get too the copyright won't get it. But in case it does, then I'll redo this video. But anyway, there you have it. So what do we say? what do we say with that? Like, you can have on one end where, okay, yeah, he said he wasn't trying to have much involvement in the Middle East, but I think the context of that, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, if you have a clip or anything like that that you can cite for me, that'd be great. But I think the context of that, when he said he would stay out of Middle Eastern affairs, is things going on between Middle Eastern people, like when they have one particular country going against another. You know, with this instance here, it wasn't Iran going against Iraq or, you know, something like that. It was an Iranian general, Soleimani, who was planning to attack American people, all right, U.S. people. And so this is a president trying to protect his people. And according to the report and what they're saying is that this was an imminent and sinister attack that was being planned. So that means it was coming up. It was near. And this is what I want to think about. Like, guys, like, regardless of how you feel about Trump, regardless if you like him, dislike him, and all that kind of stuff like that, as a president, what is the responsibility? As president, is not his responsibility is to protect his citizens. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. It's one of the primary roles of the president, to protect his citizens. All right, to make good calls, make judgment calls, and sometimes those judgment calls may not be the best. In this case, his intention was to save lives, and we can't, so we can't knock that. All right, now think about this. If you say that this strike was wrong, I want to know what your reasoning would be. Is because it would start a war? Well, we know that every action has a reaction. You know, if Iran decides to retaliate because of what was going to happen, think about this, guys. If they would have gone forward with killing U.S. people, then we would have been the ones retaliating. Either way, there would have been a back and forth. The point here was to cripple to the point where they won't continue, and so I get it. I get his strategy, and I think it's at this point, something like this is going on. You can't stop anything from happening if it's going to happen. But also this, I want to share this with you guys, just my encouragement to you all. If you're concerned, if you're worried, this is a time to be concerned. I'm not gonna say that, oh, this ain't no big deal, don't worry about it. Like, no, this was a big deal. This was a big step, guys. As all the news are covering it, this is a escalation, truly an escalation, and it could go deeper than this. So we should be preparing ourselves, mentally for what's going to take place, and be praying for our country, praying for our leaders in the country, praying for the president. I know some of you guys don't want to pray for Trump, but you need to pray for him. You need to pray for him. Pray for him that he makes the right decisions, that he makes the decisions that benefits us as a whole. And that's what we need. We need to really be praying for our leaders in the country, man. Praying for our world. Just praying that people will know Christ. But I want to give you some encouragement as well, that at the end of the day, guys, at the end of the day, and this is why Reformed theology is so important, and everything that happens in this world is not a surprise. It's not a surprise. Everything that happens in this world doesn't happen by chance. God is not caught off guard by anything. All right? The Bible tells us that the hearts of kings are like channels of water in the hands of our God, and he turns it to whichever way he pleases. That's what God does. All right. He's in control. He is sovereign. That means that what took place this week, God is the one who turned the heart for Soleimani to be planning those attacks that he was going to do. He turned the heart of the one to give the information to the president. He turned the heart of the president to take action. These things are not by chance. All right. Trust God in these situations, make preparations. You know what I'm saying? And I say make preparations, I'm not talking about stocking up, you know, all the kind of stuff. I'm not saying we that far in right now. What I'm saying is make preparations, like in your mind for what's going forward. Think soberly. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Like, make preparations to know, hey, God is in control. There's nothing to be surprised about. Like, this is not a surprise. It's a surprise to us because we don't know. You know what I'm saying? But this is not a surprise to God. You know what I'm saying? But all these things that are working, are happening, is because of a fallen world. A fallen world. That's why wars take place, because we're fallen. We're sinful. All right. People want to do senseless murders, and this Soleimani guy he wasn't like, man, I know there's none good. Like, there's none good but God. But keep this in mind, like, this guy was already murdering American citizens. This has been going on for the longest. And what Trump's saying is basically he's taking a shot at other presidents, a slick shot, by saying that what happened to Soleimani should have happened long ago. So there are other presidents who should have been dealt with him. And Soleimani's been in power since that. He's been in his position since the 80s during the Iran-Iraq war. So this is during Bush time, during you know, and so on and so forth. So he's been around a lot, doing a lot, you know. So it's not like this was an innocent man who just minding his own business, drinking some tea, and then Trump decided to mess with him. Like, this isn't that type of deal. So, you know, so regardless of what you feel about him as an individual, as a president's responsibility, he's supposed to protect the citizens, you know. And think about if it was your loved ones there, if this was your family member who was overseas doing work, you know, saying for the country, you know, and someone was planning to kill them, you know, what would you want to happen? You know, would you want the president to protect? Would you have been upset if president decided to do nothing and let it happen? You know, we can't have it both ways, guys. You know, so it's just what it is. So anyway, are we going to war? I don't know. According to the news outlets saying that Iran has, the guy who took over leadership there since Soleimani's death, said that, you know, they vow revenge. And now what that's going to look like, don't know. You know, according to the reports and stuff and what's been going on, there's already been some sanctions put on them by the president, and there was a deal, like a arms deal they had that was broke, that they took off the table. So it was all kind of stuff that's been going on behind the scenes, or, you know, it's been in the media. Just take some time to look into it. So there's already been some stuff going on between Iran and us for a minute. But yeah. So anyway, I don't know. But what I do know is this, is that God, who watches over everything, will do what's right. You know what I'm saying? Everything that happens is according to his say so, his allowing it to happen for whatever reason, for his own good purposes. And I say whatever reason because, like, we don't know everything, but it's for his own good purposes. All right. And we have to trust him even in the midst of what's going on in our country. You know, God is not sovereign over our lives, but then he lets the president do whatever he does. And he's not sovereign over our lives, and he lets people overseas do whatever they do. Like, no, God is sovereign over the universe to the very most minute thing you can think of. God is sovereign. All right. So that's it, guys. I know I came on a little late today. I wanted to do this at 12, but, you know, family man, gotta handle my business. But yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I want to talk to you guys about. If you did miss it, I did play a clip of the president's address to the country after the attack on Soleimani, and giving his take on it as far as what he said. I wanted to do that to be fair because, like I said, some news outlets don't air the whole thing. They offer comments and commentary about what he said, but they don't give the whole context. And so, like I said, in CBS, they gave a clip of him saying, I took action, or we took action, not to start a war, but to stop a war. And so they took that clip and left it to itself and like, well, but he done this, he did this, and then he said he's not trying to start a war, but then he did this, and he said he's trying to stay out of Middle Eastern affairs. And like, but if you let him speak for himself and actually play the clip, and this is me, this is not me trying to say, hey, Trump is perfect. What I'm saying is, he gave his reason for why he did what he did, and it wasn't because he's trying to renege on what he said. And this wasn't to Middle Eastern people doing anything against each other and him intervening. This wasn't him intervening in something that had nothing to do with us. Like, this had something to do with us. He took action for something that has something to do with us. All right. Well, I mean, us as a country, we all live here. You may claim that you don't like it here, but you're still here. You like it here. That's why we're still here. What I'm saying? We're here in America. It affects us. All right. So if people start attacking U.S. citizens overseas and we don't do anything about it, it's gonna send up the wrong signals, okay? And we don't want that to happen. And you don't ever, trust me, guys, you don't ever want to hear over the news outlet that there were 10 Americans, 15 Americans, 100 Americans who were killed overseas and our president does nothing about it. And then you would not want to find out that he knew that an attack was coming and did nothing about it. You would not want to hear that. That would make you the most upset, if we're being completely honest with ourselves. It would make me upset personally if I found out that there were American citizens overseas and our president had information that there was an attack being planned on them, and yet he did nothing about it and they end up dying. Yes, I would be more upset at our president. But the fact that he found out that something was happening, and according to his own words, that Soleimani was caught in the act. That's what he said. He was caught in the act. That means this wasn't an assumption. He didn't make this attack off an assumption, guys. All right? It was something. He was caught in the act. It was evidence. It was proof that this is exactly what he was doing, and our president handled it. He handled business. And this goes to show that Trump ain't playing games when it comes to protecting his citizens. He's not trying to wait until something happens in order to then act. He wants to be proactive versus reactive. And that's what he wants to do. That's how he's running it, So with that being said, guys, you can check the replay if you want to look more into it. Please, I welcome your comments and let me know what you guys think about this situation. Are we going to war? If you agree with me or disagree with me, let's talk about it. These are things that are important and we're going to have to keep dealing with them. But remember, this world is full of errors, but the only thing that the doctor prescribes is truth. Blessings. Hold on, wait a minute. Lord of Harvest, I was just about to get off, man. I saw your comment pop up. Oh man. Okay, so it says, is turning the left cheek applied to individuals and countries? But see, that's the thing. I don't think that when it comes to turning the cheek, I wouldn't think this apply to our countries. I don't think that would apply to us. Yeah. So what's up, man? Yeah, I know it's been a minute, man. They say you laughing at me now. Yeah, I just did my clothes. But yeah, I don't think this applies. And then, like I said, Trump. Well, I didn't say this today, but let's think about this. Trump is not a Christian. He's not a Christian. He's the president of the United States. I don't expect him to be passive. I don't expect him to be passive. I expect him to do his job as a president, is protecting us. But see, in this situation, and this is the thing, in the situation, it wouldn't be him turning the cheek because the attack didn't happen. The attack was being planned. And once again, like it's his job to protect us, protect U.S. citizens. So now if you think about this, as far as when it comes to the concept of war, and we're not talking about like individual strife, but we're talking about war or peoples being attacked by other peoples. It's not a sense of somebody, okay, you attack my people, you kill a few of my people, we're going to let you slide. That's not the case. That's not what's going on. That's not what's going to go on here. And that even in biblical times, that wasn't what's going on. And so I definitely don't think that turning the cheek applies here. You know, when it comes to these kind of affairs. You know, but I'm interested in that. I think that's a good question, bro. So like, if someone thinks otherwise, and that if you really feel that way, like, yo, like, let's talk about that too. Let's bring that to bear. You know what I'm saying? That's a good question. You know, as a Christian, how should we view that? But in this situation, though, in this situation that actually happened, it wasn't him retaliating on what took place. It was him trying to prevent something to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so in him preventing it was him taking out Soleimani. It's the thing, like, we look for, like, let's think about this. As Christians, yes, we would love somebody to be in office who's a Christian. Like, that's what I would want that. You said much agree. Okay, what's up, man? And like, so like, you know, somebody in office, we would want them to be Christian. You know what I'm saying? We will want Christians in office, you know what I'm saying, in places of power like that, who can make godly decisions, you know what I'm saying, like godly, righteous decisions, man, based on biblical truths, because the biblical truths are truths. All right, they're not possible truths. They're not maybe true, maybe not. Like, scripture, biblical truths are absolute truths. Okay. And so, yeah, we would want somebody to be in office like that, who can make those kind of decisions and judgments, you know, and calling on the Lord for wisdom and guidance and all those things, man. Like, that's what we want. But that's just not how it is set up here. That's not how it's set up now. And but the Bible does tell us that God is the one who puts our officials in place. You know, Trump is president, whether some of you like it or not. He's president because God put him there. He's not there because of some whim. God wasn't asleep during the 2016 elections, guys. He wasn't asleep. He wasn't asleep like, oh, you know, the election coming on me, let me fall asleep and see what they're gonna do. Like, no, God was way in this as well, just as he was with anyone else that's been president of the United States, or any kings or anything else. God was awake, aware, you know, and he is the one who put him in place. He put Trump in place this session. Now, whether he be there again for another 4 years, that's going to be up to the Lord to decide as well. We're going to do our part and go out and vote and all those things. But just like anything else, the end's going to be God turning the hearts. God turns the hearts of men. That's what he does, you know, and praise God, he does. And so, yeah. So, I mean, just think about that for a moment. You know, he put him in place for a reason, as for such a time as we are in now. This is why Trump is president. All right. So he's not in president because of evangelicals. Let's clear it up. Let's clear it up, guys. Like, he's not a president because of evangelicals. He's not a president because of conservatives. He's not president because of racists and white supremacists and all those lies and excuses. He's president because God put him there. That's the truth. That's the truth. Because all the racists in the world, all the white supremacists in the world could have come together and elected Trump or voted for Trump. And all the, you know, electoral college could have had in their mind to put him in office. But if God did not want him there, then their hearts would have been turned where they wouldn't have voted and they wouldn't have put their lots there. Period. God is sovereign. God is definitely sovereign. So yeah, I just want to make that note there. But Lord of the Harvest, man, thank you so much for coming in, bro. It was really good to hear from you, man. And for posting that question and bringing that to bear, because that's a great question, man, for us to think about and stuff. And I'll leave it there. If somebody else have another question or anything like that, real quick, I'll wait. I know there's a slight delay from the time I'm speaking. And there's a slight delay from when I'm speaking and then when you guys hear it. So if you want to comment something, you can ask a question real quick and before I close out this time. Because Lord of Harvest, I mean, he literally caught me as I was about to close out. Literally. That's cool, man. That was dope. It was like this perfect timing. I mean, I was just about to hit end stream and then I seen comments. And I ain't want to just end it like that. No, bro, you was good. You was good, man. No, you ain't got to apologize for that, bro. I was thankful, man. That was good. I that's the thing. That's why I do the chopping it up live, man, because I want the interaction. So, I mean, hey, man, if I can, ain't no big deal. I can always edit my close out. I can go back and post and take that part out where I was closing out and I started back up again. But I won't though, because it's funny. That was funny. So I'm not going to edit it out. But that was funny. But no, man, no. If you ever come in again and I'm late and I'm like about to close out and you happen to comment, bro, do it. All right, do it. Don't hesitate. You know what I'm saying? Do it again. Because I would rather have a conversation. I'd rather have a conversation than sit and talk and have a monologue. And that's why I do the chopping it up live, so we can have a dialogue. And talk about this stuff together. As best we can. And I want to do, matter of fact, I don't know if you're familiar with this site called StreamYard. It's browsing software. Well, not browser, but it's broadcast software called StreamYard. It's free to use, but you can have people come on and chop it up and stuff like that. And so I'm thinking about eventually, as I get all my kinks worked out, I want to do a chopping it up live where people can come on if they want to. They can come on video. We can chop it up, And different people can come on for a minute, talk about something or whatever, and somebody else come on. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to do. I mean, it's really nice, man. It's like a Google Hangouts, but it's a little bit better. A little bit better. Because you can post comments in there and everything else. It's really cool. It's really cool, man. But yeah, it's just expensive to get the paid version, so I'm not gonna worry about that. It's for branding. I'm not worried about branding. But that's what I want to do. That's what I do want to do. I was going to do that with Zoom. I was going to do that with the Zoom broadcast. But Zoom only lets you record for so long. And then, you got to pay more money to record longer and all that kind of stuff like that. And so, I ain't down for that. All right. They said I'm down. Okay, cool. Okay, hey, that's all I need to know, man. That's all I need to know is that one person is down. Okay, well, that's all I need to know, man. That's super encouraging. So I know that go ahead and try to get some of that set up, man, so I can be prepared for it next week. That's all I need to know. And so once again, I do want to announce once again, I did a video announcing the winners for this year's giveaway, and it was Daniel Wheeler and Edwin Ramirez from The Proverbial Life. I'm sending you guys email. I meant to send it to you guys yesterday, send your emails, but got caught up with the family and everything, so I do apologize. But I will send you your emails with your code that you can use to go and get that mug and to get that discount. So be looking out for that. This year's this next coming up giveaway, what I'm gonna do this next year giveaway is I'm gonna do it differently. I'm gonna do it in the month of January versus December leading up to January, because with the holiday season and everybody's busy running around and debating and everything else, people ain't thinking about no giveaway. I wasn't thinking about no giveaway. I was the one advertising it. So I learned. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like this next time in 2021, Lord willing, I will live and I will see that day or to see that month. And then I will run the giveaway for that entire month. And then, pick a winner towards the end. So that's what I'll do, so just letting you guys know about that ahead of time, a year ahead of time. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got now. So once again, thank you for guys. Ivan came on, checked in earlier and said, what's up? He said, yo. So that's what's up. And Lord of Harvest, thank you again for chiming in, man. I really do appreciate you. All right, so check it on the replay. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support this ministry financially, you can do so by joining me on Patreon at patreon.com/prescribed truth. For only just $1 or more a month, you can help this ministry continue to go forward. We're dealing with our website and the expenses that go into the podcast, going off to various platforms and stuff like that, various platforms and stuff like that. It really does help out a lot. So thank you once again to all my listeners on the podcast apps and all my patrons. I really do appreciate you guys so much. And if you want to contact me, you can do so by emailing me at prescribed.truth@gmail.com. You can call me at 801-980-6333. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else that I would like to say? I've already mentioned the website. Please visit the website. Check out the website, prescribedtruth.com. And join the email list. Got things coming your way for those who join the email list. And that's it. So once again, I'm gonna try this again. In a world full of errors, the only thing that the doc prescribes is truth. Blessings. No comments? All right, cool. Bye.